Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Enigmatica 2 Expert Extended. Last episode we did some magic mods. We started blood magic and botany and stuff like that. What we're gonna do today is nuclear craft. No, industrial craft nuclear reactor. So I already set up everything off camera and I've made all the stuff needed for the reactor. Now, first thing first, to progress this, the manual here, we're gonna need a reactor chamber and a nuclear reactor itself. So there we go. This is our reactor chamber. We need 6 of those, but we need 3 of those for. Wait, let me see. Missing nuclear reactor. Oh yeah, I am missing one of these. I'll be making that in a second. But for now, we'll be building it in here. Now, this block, reinforced blocks over here, and do not like our resistance to being blown up by this reactor, even if it like somehow blows up. It is resistance. To set up the reactor, first thing you need to do is to put down the nuclear reactor itself. Now, when you open it up, you're gonna notice that you don't get the full reactor because you're missing chambers. So that's where you will get your reactor chambers and connect them to all 6 sides. Now, I am missing one of these. Mean we're missing one slot. Okay, we got everything needed for 2 more reactor chambers. These are dense plates. They're just made by 9 normal lead plates. Now with this, we have our nuclear reactor. Now to use the nuclear reactor, what you need to do is you're gonna need a couple of components. One, well, the uranium fuel rods, which we don't have yet, but we will get to. And to get the fuel rods, first thing first, we're gonna need to make something called a thermal centrifuge. To do that, I'm gonna need metal sheets, and I'm gonna need to craft. I already crafted. I did already craft a metal press. So I need just obsidian, cobblestone. There we go. Now, what you do with this is another way to make like rods. I'll put it over here. Down the obsidian, put the metal press on top of it, and just put a lever next to it to activate. All it needs is put a metal sheet, and it turns it into rods. Now that we have that, we can finish this. Oh wait, yeah, true. We need the mining laser, which is a simple recipe of advanced circuits and some energy crystals. Should be an achievement, yep. Now we can craft the mining laser, thermocentrifuge method. Now, how the thermocentrifuge works, the machine like any other, and what it does is put normal uranium in it, and that will slowly progress. Can I speed this up? Much energy. Oh my god, okay, never mind. I don't have that much energy. Yes. So this will slowly progress. And when it does, it's gonna create uranium-238 and uranium-235. I'm pretty sure if you just turn these into nuggets. Okay, no. Turn this into nuggets. You get the tiny pile of uranium, which then I can use to make enriched uranium fuel. With this, you take and you put inside a fluid solid canning machine, and then you get your fuel rods. So now that you got our fuel rods, we need a way to control the reactor's cooling. Now, I didn't come up with this. I found this on the internet, and it's a very helpful way of controlling the reactor permanently with 7 fuel rods. Technically 28. First thing first, we're gonna need to craft 1 heat exchanger for this recipe. I'm gonna put it on the screen to show you what structure, like what order I'm gonna put this in. And next, I'm gonna get 39 heat vents, and I'm gonna upgrade those heat vents into component heat vents. I'm gonna need 11 of those. And over here, I'm gonna upgrade the heat vents. By the way, each of these have like a different heat dispersing rate. Some of them disperse heat from the rods themselves, and some of them disperse it from the reactor casing itself. There's a lot of math involved. I don't know much about it. I just know how it works. But this design should make it equal to 0, where it will never overheat. And this will turn the heat vents to reactor heat vents, and finally we're gonna upgrade them to overclocked heat vents. Oh yeah, and I also need to get an overclocked heat exchanger. That should be everything we need for the reactor side. Although I am missing one thing. Just remember, I do need reactor plating. This thing. I'll check how much I need of those. I forgot to like set it up. Doesn't matter. Now what you do is you go to the reactor, and based on where you put your fuel rods, you need to like put those components around them where they are active. This way they work and you don't get a meltdown. So I'll wait for the uranium to finish. Once this is full, it will start working. This is the progress bar. This is just the heater. I don't know if you can make that faster, but now uranium is radioactive. So what is it? I broke my helmet. I'll make another one. And what I was saying is, your armor is useless unless you have hazmat suit on, or you will take a lot of damage from radiation. I recrafted the hood of the Adept. Now we should have everything for our uranium should be done. I did take out some earlier. Oh. There we go, uranium 235. Now before I do a mistake and hold this without armor, let me just throw on the hazmat suit. Now I need how much? For one of these makes 3. I'm gonna need 7, 8, 8. Should get 10 ingots of these and see how much we can make. First thing, turn all of that to nuggets. And just drop in everything. 27. Missing one. But I did the math correct. There we go. Now we should make sure we never hold these uranium pieces without a hazmat suit. Now what we do is we go to the canning here, and I forgot to make the fuel casing. Got iron plates with some. I don't know how much we need. 28. 8 of those. Go here, platify them. Alright, there we go. Turning our fuel rods into uranium fuel rods, and now we can take them. Instead of putting them normally, I want to make them into a quad fuel rod uranium. 7 of those, and now we have exactly enough to build the reactor. So, build the reactor, you just place the stuff inside in an order that is similar to the picture that I'm gonna go for. Or you can make your own design. I mean, a simplest reactor is something like this. But this is not enough to like cool the entire reactor, because this will eventually break. It has durability. And the only way to fix that durability is if the reactor is on and this is not taking any heat. Or there's some other piece that can just disperse that heat. So I'll just build.
A few moments later.
Okay, everything in the reactor is done. The only thing remaining is the reactor platings. What those do is, if a reactor blows up, the explosion is smaller, and they also increase the amount of heat the reactor can take before it explodes. Now everything should be ready, and if I flick this lever, it should be producing around 4,000 RE, 4,200, and nothing should be breaking. Right? Yeah. See, it's like cooling itself faster than. Everything should be perfect. I think that's an adorable thing to happen. There we go. We're producing energy. Now, one thing I do need to make, which might take a bit, but we have to do, is we need to build a battery storage that is bigger than the MFE. Because with that, I can replace all of these. And probably remove the windmill, since it's probably not going to be that useful. So to do that, I'm going to need to make... First thing, let me progress through this so that when I unlock it, I already have it. I want to make an MFSU, which is made out of Lapotron crystals. There are a bunch of lapis, advanced circuits, and energy crystal. Advanced circuits, advanced machine casing, which is made out of steel, carbon plates, and advanced. Maybe I should not do that yet. I think I should just stick with the energy I have right now. Because to get more steel, I would have to like start a bit of immersive engineering, which we should do soon. First thing, we right click this and see what should we do next. Okay, I have decided that we're gonna start immersive engineering. First off, what we're gonna do is we're gonna get a blast furnace, a blast brick furnace. To do that, we're gonna need nether bricks, and blaze powder. Here we go, we got some blast bricks. Now with this, what we do is, first thing, we need to set it up. Oh wait, do I have my hammer on me? Hold up. Okay, now that we got our blast bricks, we can do is, it's the same way we built the coke furnaces. The difference is it's made out of blast bricks. Now what this does, it turns iron into steel by putting a coal coke down here. I already took out, and it's very slow, but it does make steel. So let me get some coal coke, let me get a stack of iron, and let that thing does its own thing. There is a way to make it faster, but we need steel for that. First off, let's get some passively. I will fix up this place in a few minutes. And next thing is, oh yeah, immersive engineering produces RF energy. Well, we used industrial craft. This is EU, so we're gonna have to change that in a moment. Well, I've expanded the place over here, and I built this, which we will get to in a second, and we already melted an entire stack of steel. I also made 2 stacks of treated wood, and now what we want to do is make something called a kinetic dynamo. To do that, we're just going to need pliers or cutting tools. What are they called? Thin wire cutter, okay? And we need some plates, real quick. Where's our speed upgrade? Right, with that, I could just need to some copper wiring. Now I can turn that into something wrong here. Oh wait, LV wire coil. Now I can turn into a copper coil block that I can use to make the dynamo. Another thing we're gonna need, since we're gonna need the power, I'm gonna have to make 48 of that. 48 sticks. That should be used to make water wheel segments. And with the water wheel segments, we could make 3 water wheels. There we go, and at the end of that, we should put a kind of dynamo. I think it's facing the wrong direction. Can we rotate this? There we go. Now what we should have is a water flow from the top towards the bottom. Alright, there we go. Now we just need water here. Start spinning. It should not start spinning. What? Maybe I should put them all. Why is it not spinning? Oh wait, I know why. all spin together now, and there we go. Perfect. Now this is producing energy, but we cannot transfer it yet. So what we're gonna need is go to the book with we're gonna need LV energy, and for that we need LV connectors, relays, and the capacitor. Make the capacitor, we're gonna need some lead, iron, copper, and treated wood. That seems simple. Some terracotta and copper, that's easy, and same thing. Right, I'll do that real quick. Okay, now that I made all these items, we can now channel this energy into a storage, so we can get the LV wire connector and capacitor. Where do I put it? I'm gonna need some building blocks on top of that. Let's just keep using the cinder blocks. How you use these is, well, first you need the relay here, and where are the wires? Right click here. There we go, and right click there. Now, why is there no energy? Ah, okay, there we go. The issue was apparently you need to place these while shifting on the dynamo, so it connects to the dynamo itself. Now we're producing energy, and we're storing it over here. Now that we have that done, what we should work on next is maybe the improved blast furnace. Let's see, hold up. Do this first, then we can unlock the metal press, which will be helpful to create more wires. Okay, since the first step over here is to create the improved blast furnace, we should do that real quick. Now that we got our steel, what we could do now. At first, actually, before we continue with it, I'm gonna have to like stop this operation. That's gonna be done soon. And we should also craft 2 blast furnace preheaters. Iron sheets and an external heat. Alright, that took less time than anticipated. Now we're just gonna need 1 hopper, which I don't need. Right there. Now we have everything for the blast furnace, and setting it up is pretty simple. I'll keep it over here, because why not? Where's the center of it? Just like before, we build it 3 by 3 by 3. Then you just right click the center, and oh yeah, true. You're gonna need a hopper on top. Now it should work. Now what these do, the preheaters, you put them on the sides like this. Now this will function just like a normal blast furnace. Difference is, if those are powered, what we have right now, they will speed this up. On the back, it will exit, like it will drop off the slag, and in the front, it will drop off the steel. And on top, you can input the materials you need. Next on the list, we will be making in the engineering blocks item. We should make an alloy kiln, which is made by bricks and sand. We have bricks, we have sand, we have everything because it needs 8 blocks. For an alloy kiln, it's 2 by 2 by 2. You can kind of put it anywhere. I'm just gonna put it over here. I think you just hit it with a hammer, and yep, there you go. Fuel it here, and the 2 material you want to combine together. Now that we got our constantum, we can make our redstone engineering blocks. I also made the engineering tool thingy box. You could put the wiring stuff over here, so I don't have to just have them in my inventory all the time. Over here. What else could we need to make? Now that we're done with this, we need to make light engineering blocks, which are made by enriched alloy. Maybe we don't do that now, I suppose. We have to get into mechanism first before we actually make any machine. Maybe we go to forestry. Okay. I think I'll enter forestry. Do that. Just first do this. What else did we do? Forestry, we finished IC2. I don't think we can do any of those today. Killing the weather, doable. But now, first forestry. First thing first, we need to make sturdy casing. For that, we're gonna need a bunch of bronze and gears. Now that we have all the materials, we can make the sturdy casing, which gives us one of these. Go to forestry. Now, I am not that familiar with forestry. Like, I know the basics of it. I just don't know the B stuff of it. So I will be learning that on the way. For a carpenter block, we're gonna need 2 water buckets, a sturdy casing of treated wood, which I have used all my treated wood. Now, what this does, it crafts other items. I know, crazy. It has, I think, the main. Yeah, this is a machine used for crafting supply with energy in this. So this requires energy. My only source of energy right now is the water wheel on top. Right. Now, since we cannot use any normal wiring yet, I'll be still using the immersive engineering material, no, connectors, I mean, for the energy. So for now, we're just gonna put the carpenter block here. And we need an LV connector. We have one here. Connect the cable directly to the poles. Have energy in here. Perfect. Now, next in line, we should make something called a squeezer, which is tin, 30 casing, treated wood. Great. Now that we have the tin gear, we can make the squeezer. There we go. Now, what can we do with the squeezer? I am not sure. Why did I start forestry? Valid question. With the squeezer, you can make seed oil. I think that's the whole reason.
One eternity later.
Alright, back to reality. I think I went to the wrong mod. And I thought I needed these, which we do, but not really a start. And what the problem is I had to make immersive mechanism items. It requires me to craft the steel casing, and that requires osmium, steel, and aluminum brass. We have all of those materials to make those steel mechanical components, just 4 steel and copper ingots. Okay, great. Now we have everything for the steel casing. The next thing we should make is go to mechanism. Is the metallurgic infuser. Requires a bunch of furnaces, steel casing, external heater. And now that we have everything done, we can make the metallurgic infuser. And with this, we can make the, what are they called? Enriched alloy needed for our, what are they called? Light engineering block. I need to connect this. But these wires are not insulated, so getting near them, they will damage you. Of course, those are low voltage, they don't do as much damage, but later on when we have like the high voltage stuff, it will deal decent amount of damage, so we kind of have to insulate that at some point. Or we just move on to traditional wiring. Next on the list, we need 4 redstone and 4 pieces of iron, and that should be what we need. Alright, now we have everything. We just need to make aluminum sheet metals, turn them into rods. Right, if I've made too much. Doesn't matter. Put the rest over here. Or we make some scaffolding from the rods we got. This, we're gonna need some bronze. And there we go. Light engineering block. I finished like 10 tasks. I did let this make more. Yeah, it's gonna be making more, and now we should focus on the next thing in immersive engineering. I've lost that tab there. Heavy engineering blocks are made out of uranium plates. Okay. Iron mechanical components, which is iron and copper, steel scaffolding, reinforced. Okay. Now, normally you would put 1 diamond and that would count as 1 point. But there is a machine I want to make called an enricher, I think. And it will turn 1 diamond into 8 diamonds. Which is the enrichment chamber, yes. I want to make this first. And then we can move on to upgrading to the engineering. Now we have everything. We can make this. Now I failed to notice that you craft 2 per recipe. I already had an extra one. Missing 2 pieces of iron. We got the enrichment chamber, which we will just stick next to everything on top for now. There we go. LV wire connector. Connect to this. I don't know how many you can connect to one relay. So far, it's connecting to 6. So with an enrichment chamber, we can make. We can also do that through redstone, iron, coal. I think it's more efficient to create steel out of the mechanism method. So first thing, let's get 1 diamond, 8 iron, 1 redstone. And we should get some uranium ingots from pick up the wrong uranium. Turn that to plate. Perfect. Okay, sweet. Reinforced alloy is done. Also get another achievement in immersive mechanism, which is good. Now what we can do is craft our heavy engineering blocks, which are over here, and we can craft 4 recipes of these, so 16 of these. Beautiful. Now if we go back to immersive engineering, I mean. Metal press, that's what we should be making, I believe. Which requires conveyor belts, a bunch of iron, rubber, and redstone. We have all that. Now I want to build this nearby, over here. Now you build this, if I remember, gotta just open the manual, which I do not have in my... We're gonna make a heavy machinery metal press, which is, yeah, pretty simple. And now, there we go. That's our first metal press. We need to connect the wire on top. I mean, this right now is not useful, so use it. Where did it go? I didn't pick it up. Get some energy, and now we should be able to turn a lot of materials into... Can I check this? We can turn, if we use the wire mold, instead of 1 copper making 1 copper wire, we can make 2 out of it. Just need to make the metal wire mold. The next thing I want to make is something called a core sample drill. Reason is, a core sample drill will check every chunk for the material it has, not like in the world, like under the bedrock. And with that, you can use it to drill oil from the ground. As I've noticed in this world, like this mod pack, you cannot find oil on the surface. And the only way I can think of to get oil would be from, let's see, oil processing, a pump shack. So yeah, I want to craft a pump shack, which first I need to find an oil node, and then I can build a pump shack in the chunk. So first thing, let's build the core sample drill. There we go, core sample drill. I need to press F9 to check every chunk. And now I'm hoping to have a chunk over here somewhere. It has the oil. And again, let's try to do it here. So I'm gonna need this LV capacitor. Output everywhere. Now you put this next to it. I think you just right click it and it will... Yeah, it's doing this thing. I don't know how much energy that consumed. Doesn't seem like it consumed much. there is absolutely nothing in this script. Well, that didn't take long. We have oil over here. Okay, now that we know where the oil is, which chunk, we need to build, and there's osmium also over here. 11,000 buckets of oil. That should be more than enough for whatever we need. Now, next step is to build the pump jack. Now, building the pump jack by opening the book every now and then would be annoying. So we should make something called projector. Is and now that we got our projector, to select the recipe, you should have it in your book, and it should pump jack. And I want to build it over here. So I have to expand this area. I got everything needed for the pump jack, and I want to make it so that it's facing this direction. It fits perfectly. There we go. If right click. Now we can start building it from the materials. I got everything needed to build this. And one thing I do have to do after I build it is you have to connect the fluid pipe all the way to bedrock. So that's something I have to do in a second. There we go. That should be everything. Just right click this away. And you need to right click. There we go. It's not exactly the way I wanted it to be placed. Alright, there you go. Do this, and now we right click the center, and there we go. Have it. Now we are gonna need pump oil, but the thing is, oil on its own is not useful. So we're gonna have to build another structure. Where is it? There we go. We're gonna have to build a distillation tower, which is made with a bunch of iron, and I did notice that we are almost out of iron, so I'm gonna have to do another mining session in a few seconds. Now, let's try to get some oil first, and we need a way to store the oil. Oh yeah, true, I completely forgot. This is 21 blocks, so completely covered over here. Now, over here, we're gonna have to mine all the way to bedrock. Because this is an invalid, it doesn't have a pipe all the way to bedrock. So these pipes are gonna have to go like that. First thing, I wanna cover it up. And we'll build that all the way to bedrock. And get the materials for a tank. I got all the materials needed to make the tank, and I'm gonna build it just right across. Now you just right click it with a hammer, it should be done. The input is on top and the output is at the bottom. How do I connect? Alright, we have everything, and now all we need is to activate this. Should be getting oil. Hold up, I do not have the output. There we go. Now we should have. There we go. It's working. Now this should be filling up with oil. Perfect. Alright. I finished mining and processing all the materials over here. And now that we have a bit more iron, I already crafted all the materials we need for the distillation tower. And I also did, I made two things. I made the cloud stepper ring, which is basically just a ring with a feather and air. And what that does is basically give me double jump. So that's cool. Another thing I made was the headband of curiosity. What this does, it was a bit hard to make, not much, but all it needs is cognito, which was a bit hard to get. You can get it from lecterns or paper. Anyways, what this does, whenever you get XP, you will get knowledge. So I just have this passively when I'm doing other stuff, and I just get knowledge from it. Now let's go back to the distillation tower. I want to build this. Where would the output be? Okay, there we go. Found the direction I need. I'll put it like this, and this would be the input, and this would be the output. Okay, I finished building the structure now. And we're gonna need a hammer. Oh, which I could be right clicking somewhere. Up here. Yeah, I'll find it. Why is this not working?
A few moments later.
Which block am I supposed to be right clicking? Oh, there we go. Perfect. Now this should be the input. That I'm gonna need a bit more pipes and see how I'm gonna output all. There you go. Now we have that. It will turn the oil that we have here. Good one. In a distillation tower, it will turn to gasoline, diesel, and lubricant. Gasoline can be used for rocket fuel, apparently. And to produce energy. Gas turbines. Anyways, doesn't matter. We're gonna need the diesel part, which is a part of that fuel, and to do... And that would power the generator, yeah. I need to add more lighting here. I will start like a small hemp seed farm and organize this place a bit. Alright, I have organized the place a bit, and I haven't organized anything. I turned all of these into insulated wires so I don't get electrocuted while I'm running, and this is the hemp farm that I decided to like have this design around for lighting because I want to kind of settle, as in, how do I say this? I want to use the lights of each of its mods in its own area. Like over there, I'm using Nitro for Thaumcraft. In Botania, I don't know if there's any way of lighting in Botania. I will figure it out. And like, yeah, that's like how the idea is going for me. Now, what I made... Oh, hold on, I need to turn this off. I made it so that you have a capacitor for each of these machines. And this way, whenever I need it turned on, even though I don't produce as much as it needs, it will work. Over here we have 124 buckets of oil. Yeah, there we go. That's how much can that hold? 512. We'll upgrade that eventually to like steel. Speaking of steel, this should be done. Yeah. So now that we have this done, I believe if I just connect this like this. Alright, here we go. So I set this up, it should be working pretty well. So what happens here is the ore washing plant has an infinite water source next to it, keeping it filled. And so what happens, I forgot to put a server there. A macerator turns gold ore into gold, crushed gold ore, then goes to the plant and it will turn into clean, purified or crushed gold ore. Now, when that happens, it releases tiny silvers and stone dust. This way we get our silver. I've been running this for a while now. In the thermal centrifuge, the purified gold will get cleaner and we get more silver from it. So this way we can have more of these. And eventually it will go to the furnace and join the rest of the materials here. That's set up. Now, I do have a problem here, is that I can't speed those up because they consume a lot of energy. So what I've made is glass fiber cables. And these are easy recipes. They're just energium and silver. So we have a lot of it now. We can make it. Now, what I want to make before I end this episode is, well, I already planned everything. See, we built a nuclear reactor, but we haven't connected it to the main grid. So I'm just gonna have 4 batteries, MFE or the MFSUs, connected to that reactor. This way it will charge them up. 4 MFSUs would require a lot of items. So many items, like so much material, that, I mean, I already set this up, but it was expensive to do. Now, first thing to set up the MFSU, we're gonna need advanced machine casings, which we will have to do more of in the future because we need it for a bunch of other recipes. Now, we only need 4 MFSUs, so here we go. I'm gonna need MFEs. We already have one. Is our main energy source from the windmill in the sky. And we're gonna need 6 Lapatron crystals for each. So we're gonna need around 24. So I already made the recipe for the Lapatron crystals. There was a bunch of circuits, a bunch of copper wires, and all that. And here we should have everything needed. Make 4 MFSUs. Apparently not. Never mind, I just need to switch those. Okay. There we go. Now these, the reason why I wanted 4, because they only output 2048 EU, while the cables here can handle 8192, which is equal to 4 of these. So if I have 4 of them, it will help with like the output energy we need. So I'll just set this up real quick and I'll be back to you. Okay, I have replaced all the heavy wirings with the new glass fiber. Way we can transfer as much energy as we want. And I do have a bunch of speed upgrades now in these machines, maxing out their output. So that's good. Now I also place down the 4 MFUs, and I'm just draining the MFE that we had here. And everything is connected. Over here, this is connected directly to the reactor, so if I turn this on, go up, this should all be start charging. I think this is a good place to end this episode. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Please leave feedback down in the comment section. Subscribe, leave a like, and thank you for watching. Have a great day. Peace out.